Hello, welcome to Zen Soul Balance. I am Jenny, and today's class is a Yin Yoga practice targeting the spine. So we'll be making 4 major movements of the spine: flexion, which is rounding forward; extension, lengthening the spine; side bend, lateral flexion; as well as rotation, spinal twist. So it will be good for you if you have low back discomfort or tension to help you find some relief. Now, of course, you want to be mindful if you have any back disorders. Make sure that your doctor gives you the okay to exercise your spine in a safe and a therapeutic way by compressing and decompressing the spine, as well as stretching the connective tissues from the mid back all the way down into the low back to apply a positive and beneficial stress to the tissues, okay? So we're gonna get started today in a comfortable seated position, and we'll take just a few rounds of deep breath before we start to stretch together. It may also be helpful for you if you have blocks, a cushion, or a bolster, have them nearby. When you have all your props gathered and you are ready, take a moment to roll the shoulders up, back, and down. And the legs can be crossed or out in front of you. Take a moment to close the eyes down and start to become aware of your breath by deepening your inhalation and lengthening your exhalation. Let's start to invite some gentle movements here, spinal twist, before we get into our longer held static yin postures. Take a nice deep breath in as you raise your arms up over your head. As you exhale, lower the arms and twist over to one side. Take a breath here. As you inhale, come to center, raise the arms up and go to the opposite side. As you exhale, lowering the arms down. Lengthen through your spine by reaching the crown of the head up towards the sky and breathe. Nice deep inhale, come to center, raise the arms up over your head. As you exhale, twist to the opposite side, lower the arms down, lengthen upwards, breathe in. Next inhalation, come to center, raise the arms up. Exhale as you lower the arms down. Nice long spine, breathe in. One more time on each side. Inhale to center, arms up. Exhale as you lower. Breathe in. Breathe out. Breathe in to center. And exhale as you rotate the spine, wringing out that sponge from any toxicity and dead cells. Breathe in and breathe out. Inhale to center. This time let the palms touch. Look up. As you exhale, slowly lower the hands down to heart center. Take a deep cleansing breath in, fill all the way up. Open mouth exhalation. Release the arms down by your side. Draw the legs out in front of you. Give the legs a little shake. We're going to go into caterpillar pose. This will be about a 2-minute hold. This is when the props come in handy so that you can support your head and perhaps even your arms. I like to use blocks and create a little shelf for myself. The blocks can go in between the legs, under the legs. Be creative with use of your props. The props are there to help support you. When you are ready, you'll start to shift your torso forward and start by checking in with the low back by making some minor movements, swaying from side to side. And not only does this target the low back, the lumbar sacral arch is what we're targeting, but it also gets into the hamstrings, the back sides of the thighs. And since these muscles attach to the pelvis, it's important that we stretch them as well to help you find some relief in the low back. Ease yourself forward. Draw in your props until you feel nice and supported. The head can rest down onto the blocks or a bolster if you're standing the bolster up on its side. Let the shoulders begin to relax. Steady your breath pace. So a mild to moderate level of sensation is what you're aiming for here. You want to feel like it's an effective stretch in the low back and then the back sides of the thighs, but you don't want it to be too intense. Start to use your breath to breathe into any areas where you feel the muscles gripping. Make a conscious effort to relax and soften into it. Now, in our Yin practice, we hold these postures for longer periods of time to help you get into that deep fascia that's anchored to the bones. Really getting into that thoracolumbar fascia that runs from the thoracic down into the lumbar now. The more you can relax into it, the deeper you go. So resist the urge to fidget. Here for just a few more rounds of deep breath. So allow yourself to fully relax into it. And you'll slowly start to ease yourself out of the shape. That was our first flexion of the spine. Let the hands come back behind you. This is a slight extension. We'll just take a rebound here, a few rounds of deep breath. Allow the spine to process that. And now give the legs a little shake once again. If you're using props, you can set them off to the side. And let the hands come back behind you once again. Bend the knees, let the feet come to the mat. And let's start to sway the legs from side to side. See how it feels to go a little wider with the feet out towards the edges of the mat so the inner thigh can go down towards the mat. It doesn't have to touch, but see how far it can go without being aggressive. And then twist the upper body in the opposite direction of the legs. This helps to flush out the stagnation from the hips and the back. And easing yourself in a little bit deeper into the spinal twist. We'll be going into a static hold for the spine, twisting it soon. For now, just rehydrating the tissues, breathing into it. One more time on each side. And come back to center. And this time, let's take a shoelace side bend, now lateral flexion of the spine. So we'll start by crossing the right leg over the left. The legs don't have to stack one on top of the other perfectly. Maybe the shins stack one on top of the other, or maybe the knee stack. But here you want to use your right leg to lay weight on top of that left leg. Because what we're going to do is we're going to side bend over to the right. Sometimes I like to use a prop just to bring the ground to me for my arm to rest on. We won't be here too terribly long, but you'll feel this nice side body extension. So from here, once you have your right leg on top of your left in a way that makes sense for you, you may choose to place a prop, a bolster, or a block on your right side. I like to come down onto my forearm and then let the left arm come up and overhead. You'll feel that side body stretch on the left side of the body. You can bend your right arm and place the side of your head into your palm or make a fist, and you can rest your temple on your fist. Now that top arm, I like to kind of just bend it and let the arm rest on the side of my head if that feels safe for you. So you'll start to feel that, and you can kind of start shifting your weight forward and back here. So not only is this lateral flexion of the spine, but you'll likely start to feel it in that QL and also that left outer hip. And after moving forward and back a few times, it may feel nice to release that left arm and let it come down in front of you, and just kind of start to shift your weight over to that right side until you feel that nice juicy stretch in that left QL, lower back outer hip. Again, not to be aggressive here. A few rounds of deep breath here. A little discomfort is okay because we are working through those fascial patterns in the body, but it should never be painful. So never push yourself through something. If you feel a shape that doesn't feel good for you, a stretch that's not working well for you, listen to your body. It will speak to you through sensations. Simply back off, or you can come completely out of the shape and recreate a shape that works better for you. And start to walk your hands in, draw the spine to neutral. Come to center, release the legs out in front of you. You may feel a bit sore or tender. Just passively observe the sensations that you're experiencing. Move through space. Try not to attach to anything you may be feeling. And now give the legs a little shake one more time. And let's go into the second side. Your shoelace variation. You'll cross that left leg over the right. The knees can be bent or slightly straight. See what works best for you. You can rearrange. This time, that left leg is going to be a weight on top of that right leg. If you're using a prop, you may choose to place it over onto the left side. And then from there, start to bend over to the left. Maybe that left forearm rest on the prop. You can bend the elbow, make a fist, or rest your head in your palm. Right arm comes up and overhead. You can bend the elbow and let the head rest on the side of your head if that feels okay for you. If it's a little too intense with the arm up and overhead, simply leave it down by the side. You should start to feel this in that right side body. You're stretching the obliques, those little intercostals that attach the ribs, getting into that right outer hip. And you'll start to just kind of shift your weight forward and back just as we did on the other side. Getting into that QL now on the right side this time. And breathe. You may choose to stay here. You can release that right arm slightly at an angle over to the left. Maybe the left arm goes over there as well. You're hunting for the stretch a little deeper in that lower back on the right side. Let the breath get a little deeper. Slowly start to walk the hands in towards the body. Come upright with your spine and back to center. Slowly, gently release the legs out in front of you. Just a brief pause here. Start to point and flex the feet, allowing some fresh blood flow, circulation in the legs, the ankles, the feet, little rotation of the ankles, a couple times in each direction. Bend the knees, let the feet come to the mat, and one more time here we'll take that windshield wiper motion, a sway of the legs from side to side. Moving now into your static hold for the twisting movement of the spine. So the next time the legs are over to the right, lay the legs down. They can be one in front of the other or stacked on top of one another. See what works best for you. And then start to twist yourself around toward the top side of your mat. Both hands come out to either side of the mat. You'll start to feel that spinal twist. You'll stay in an upright position for now. The chin can be neutral or slightly down, gazing to the top of your mat. Breathe into this. You may choose to stay here. You can start to walk your hands a little further towards the top of the mat. This is when the bolster, if you have a bolster or a cushion, may come in handy to rest on. Place it lengthwise underneath your torso. You can ease yourself down. You don't have to have a prop, but sometimes it makes it a little less aggressive. You can come down onto your forearms, check in with your body and see if this feels safe for you to go any further. Maybe you've already reached your sweet spot. Do not need to go to your maximum range of motion. Only about 50% of your full range of motion will be safe and therapeutic for your spine. If you want to come all the way down, forehead can rest onto your prop or the mat, maybe even the left cheek. If the left cheek doesn't work, you can lay the right cheek down. And try some different options until you see what works best for you. Very slowly start to ease yourself up. Walk the hands in towards the body so that you can unravel the spine. Notice how the sensation often blooms as you start to exit a shape. The spine is now processing that. Start to shift your weight forward with your torso. Reach for your shins, your ankles, or maybe all the way down to the feet. Just kind of pull yourself forward and give yourself a little sway from side to side. Nice counter pose to that twisting shape. And let's go second side. Ease yourself up. Bend the knees, let the feet come to the mat, lay the legs over to the left. Once again, legs can be in front of one another, stacked on top of one another. You can use blocks in between the legs if you need support. Twist yourself around that left shoulder. Readjust your hips as necessary. Hold yourself upright for the first few rounds of breath until you settle into this twist. You may choose to stay here. If it feels safe for you to walk your hands a little further away from the body, easing yourself down, perhaps onto the forearms. And from there, maybe you go all the way down, resting forehead or a cheek onto your prop or your mat. Slowly start to ease yourself up. Walk the hands in towards the body. Unravel the spine. Come to center. Breathe a nice cleansing breath in as you pause from movement. Detoxifying breath out. Let it go. And start to make your way down onto your back. We have one final movement here for the spine. We've done flexion, we've done rotation, we've done lateral flexion, side bending. Now we need to do extension. So bend the knees, let the feet come to the mat. We'll start by hugging the knees into the chest just to draw everything back to center. And if it feels good for the low back, give yourself a little sway from side to side. Come to center, lower the feet down onto the mat. For this one, you will need to elevate your pelvis. A block or books will work. Press down through the soles of the feet, lift the hips up, place your sacrum all the way down to the tailbone, coccyxes, where you want to place your prop. And then allow the hips to become heavy, melting down onto your prop. You can keep the knees bent. Some people like to place the soles of the feet to touch and let the knees lay out to either side if that feels good for you. If you feel a pinching sensation or stabbing or burning sensation in the low back, it's a good indication the shape is not working well for you. Another one, extension, is to lay one leg at a time down. Maybe both legs feels safe for you. You can raise the arms up over your head if that feels good. You can cactus the arms, or you can leave the arms laying down by your side. You should feel a mild compression, maybe moderate level of compression in the low back. So we're compressing those woven rings of collagen fiber between the bones, the spinal discs. This will help you to become more flexible and mobile in the spine. This is a really good one if you have low back tightness or discomfort, to help you start to work through that, finding more space. So breathe a little deeper and relax into it. And slowly start to bend the knees if they're not already. Let the soles of the feet find the mat. Press down through the soles of the feet. Lift the hips up just enough so you can remove your prop and lower yourself down so you have a nice flat back. Let the bones settle. One more time, hug the knees into the chest. A little sway from side to side. Any final movements that you need to make. It may feel nice to take a happy baby or legs up the invisible wall. And when you're ready, you'll settle yourself into your final resting pose. Give yourself permission to fully unwind and relax, at least for a couple minutes here. You can stay here as long as you would like. Take a mental scan. See if there's anywhere you're holding on to any last bit of tension that you can let go of. Take a deep breath in. Open mouth, clear it out. One more nice deep breath in, fill all the way up. Clear it out and let everything go. Full surrender. To make some gentle movements as you deepen your breath once again. Little wiggle of the fingers and the toes, sway of the head from side to side. And a full body stretch. Take that natural energizer. Any other movements you need to make to recollect yourself. It may feel nice to roll yourself onto your side for a moment. And when you're ready, ease yourself up to a seated position, moving slowly. And thank you so much for practicing with me today. I hope you feel some relief in your low back. Don't forget to subscribe to the Zen Soul Balance channel. I'm releasing new videos every Friday. Namaste.